Hi, class. We're back together for the last of the really great Wangdoodles. Do you remember what happened with Ben, Tom, and Lindy yesterday? Think about it for a minute. Yes, they ate those blueberries that caused them to hiccup. Let's see what happens today. They moved off without warning. Each one then let forth an explosive, unguarded hic at exactly the same moment. The noise was so loud that it seemed to split the forest wide open. The result was disastrous. Every tree squeak rose up into the air, squealing, squawking, and screeching. The entire place rang and throbbed with a terrible sound. Lindy screamed. Tom covered his ears. The whifflebird cried, Mayday! And the professor grumbled, Fiddlesticks! Fiddlesticks! Ben watched the black cloud of the tree squeaks swirling above him. To his amazement, he realized they were screaming, People! 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 As loud as they could. The proc and every other creature in the land could not fail to hear such a warning. The whifflebird's voice cut through the frightful din. Cheer up, she squeaked. Cheer up. Well, that's a stupid thing to say, shouted Ben. The professor hugged Lindy close because she was sobbing with fright. Cheer up, cheer up, cheer up. That's it, he cried. Let's cheer. Let's drown out the noise. I refuse to be intimidated by this racket. What's intimidated? Asked Lindy. Oh, never mind, darling. Just sing. Sing as loud as you can, all of you. Remember when we went on our picnic and sang in the rain? Sing louder than that. The professor started to sing a rousing march. The children joined in, stomping and banging their shoes together, making so much noise that the wiffle bird got quite excited and flew around shrieking ferociously, Shoot the works! Shoot the works! The terrible clamor above them diminished, and their hic coughs grew less, as the professor, waving his umbrellas like a baton, led the way through the forest. Quite suddenly, they emerged from the trees and into the daylight. The morning sun was so bright that it took a moment or two to get used to it. They continued singing until they were well away from the forest. The sound of the tree squeak subsided and gradually faded away altogether. The professor sank into the grass. My great godfathers, he said with feeling, I have never been through such a frightful experience. Those miserable tree squeaks and those ghastly hiccoughs. He clasped a hand to his stomach. Was it the berries that made us hiccough? Asked Tom. Of course, replied the professor. That's what the whifflebird was going on about when we were eating. She said, Shut your mouth, and she meant, Don't eat. Ben stroked the whifflebird's beautiful feathers. You always know the right thing to tell us. Don't you, whifflebird? The whifflebird made her humming sounds and strutted around proudly. The professor said, I really must pay more attention to her. That's the second time I have missed the sense of what she was saying, and both times we got in trouble. He prodded Tom. Oh, there's a lesson in that, young man. Learn to listen well when people are talking. First, it's a great art. And second, it's quite possible that when people say one thing, they mean another. He rubbed his forehead wearily and looked at the children. You know, we haven't a hope now of reaching the palace without trouble of some kind. I am quite sure the proc heard the tree squeaks and is already making plans to stop us. But we are going, aren't we? Asked Ben hopefully. I'd like to, that is, if you all agree, said the professor. We're really so close. I say it's the proc or us, Tom declared. How do you feel about it, Lindy? Oh, I feel fine, she said in a small voice. I just wish we could stop being surprised all the time." The professor nodded understandingly and looked around. The region was very different from anything they had seen before. A white desert with cherry red cactus plants growing out of the sandy ground. There were small foothills in the immediate area and beyond. The giant mountains of the Wangdoodles Palace. The professor got to his feet. "Well, if we're going to continue on, we best be on our way." And he strode off at a good pace, and the children followed. You guys, doesn't Julie Andrews do such an amazing job describing the scenery? Okay, tomorrow we'll be on part 3, chapter 2. Can't wait to meet you tomorrow. Bye, you guys.